Hi guys, today we are going to start this things called learn RPA, that is called robotic process automation. Okay, so for RPA, if you ask me this things called what is RPA, so automate the business process by robot, that is called RPA. If you ask me the basic things and practical, I like that where we can apply these things called RPA. I will tell you there are lots of company like that Bajaj Finance, Bajaj Finserv, any banking system, whatever the work they do as a manual process right now. If you go there, everything they are going to automate using these things called RPA tool. There are lots of non-technical person. They run the system, they run the RPA path, and they generate the things, whatever they work in 2 days, 3 days, 1 month. Everything it's possible to getting in very less time and generate the more ROI. Means whatever the manual task, whatever the repetitive task in their company, everything they are going to automate. If you are going to use these things called RP tool, your work is very easy. Okay, whatever the work you do in 1 week or 2 weeks, if you're going to adopt these things called RPA world, you are getting the very good data. There is no any error, and in very less time you are able to do. Okay, like that, rather than going for these things called manual work and repeat task, they are going to focus on their business. Okay, every company they go for these things called business. If you work on these things on multiple things like the manual process, you don't have time to go for these things called business. Okay, so all this company they are going for these things called RPA, and they are going to automate their process. They are going for more revenue. They are going to focus on ROI, that is called return on investment, and in very less time they are getting the more return. That's why they are going to apply these things called RPA. Okay, before going to RPA, if you are going to ask me why I will start my career into RPA world in 2017 and 18. So the things right now, if you go for right now also, and I'm going to show these things on new in current window, and if you're going to search these things on Google, so if you're going to search these things called best technology to learning 2022. Okay, so if you're even right now in 2022, if you go for 2023, 2024, and 2025, up to 10 years, if you ask me this career, I will suggest you to go for RPA and data scientist. Okay, so RPA and AI, you can see right now that is on top, but data scientist is also very good technology. If you go for the here right now, we are getting these things. RPA is the top five, and if you go for different you will get these things called RPA, that is the top. Okay, that is why Google, that is, you can see right now, that is the artificial intelligence. RPA and AI both are same thing. Okay, RPA especially for robotic process automation, that is for automating the structured data, and the second thing that is called artificial intelligence. Okay, so artificial intelligence, that is the same thing, but it will work for unstructured data. Okay, so if your pattern is not same, that you can go for these things called artificial intelligence. But if you go for RPA, that is totally repeated task, so that is the same pattern you are getting, and you can start the career. Okay, so RPA and AI is the booming world for right now also, and up to 10 years it's very good technology, because the technology right now is they started only 4 to 5 years completed, 4 years completed. So that's why I will suggest to start the career. So if you go for different website like that national scale, if you go for different website like the Edureka, if you go for naukri.com, everywhere we'll get these things called top emerging technology, that is the RPA and AI, that is the top hotcake. You can go for start the career. Okay, so if you go here, everywhere we get these things called data scientist and RPA. That is the main things you have to start. And company, why company is giving good salary? Because they are the getting good salary, good money from the client, so that's why they're able to pay. Okay, so if you go for different website also, everywhere you will get right now. Okay, RPA and AI, that is the top you can get right now. Okay, so different website like that, if you go for Edureka and n number of Mind Magic, Edureka, n number of website, it say that is the best technology to start. You can see right now that is the things called we are getting the RPA. Let me go for Edureka also. So that data scientist and RPA is the best technology. Again, these things right now, that is the given data by Edureka and this particular company. But if you ask me why I start my career by me, I will tell you these things. Well, why I start. Okay, so according to Google, RPA and AI, that is under top 10 to start, under top 5 I can say to start. The first thing, that was the same thing in 2018 also whenever I started. The second things, if you go for Java, if you're going to learn these things called Java, you have to give your more than 9 months. If you want to get the job, at least 9 months and up to 1 year you have to give your things, because you have to learn these things called core Java, advanced Java, struts, n number of things of you have to use. If you're going for Python, the things right now, Django, Flask, multiple things if you're going to learn, like that particular package, it's required at least 4 to 5 months minimum time it will take. But if you go for these things called soft testing, also 6 months. The things right now, if you're going to learn these things called RPA, RPA is very, 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 very easy. The first part easy, and second part, it's very interesting topic. Even if you go for Java, after 10 days, you'll become bored. But if you come to RPA, every day you will get the new topics like the process automation, all these things. So it's very easy and it's possible to complete within 40 minutes, 40 days, sorry. So if you ask me these things called time duration, so that is only I can say that is max time, that is the things called 2 months. Okay, these are things called RPA is called, why that time duration. The things right now here low code, it's called low code platform. Okay, so right now, previous if you go for these things called technology like that HTML CSS, right now the booming right now of the WordPress. Okay, so every company, they don't want to go for these things called coding part, they want to use these things called predefined function. So easy to use and low code platform. RPA is totally easy to use. Easy to use means what? You don't have to learn all these things up to very like the depth level. If you go for SQL server, also SQL is also required in RPA, but that is no, you don't have to go for PhD. The basic introduction, all these things, it's perfect to start the career. And for learning these things called SQL, I will recommend you 3 days sufficient to start this career into RPA world. Okay, so that's why easy to use. In RPA, everything predefined method they are provided, and if you're going to use these things, it's very easy, and you can start the career. Okay, so the first things RPA and under top 5 to start, time duration that is the 2 months, and low code from easy to use. Okay, after that, the age of technology. Why I'm saying this thing is called age of technology. If you heard about Java started in 1995, Python 1991, soft testing like it 1991, you can say 85 also, .NET 2004. So there are n number of technology. If you ask me these things called time frame, they started in 1995 or 2002. But if you ask me the technology like that RPA, AI, that all technology started in 2017, 18, and data scientist also the same time 2017 and 18. Okay, so age of technology is only 4 years. Okay, so age of technology is 4 years. The things right now, if technology is new, the company are very less. Okay, so the things right now, competition is very less. If you go for any company, so if hiring is only 100 people, will come very less. But the things right now, please believe these things. If you go for right now for soft testing, there is a manual testing opening or automation testing opening. There are lots of crowds, especially for that particular technology, because people are very more into that part. That is a totally crowded technology. Okay, but if you come to new technology, that is like the RPA, data scientist, AI, machine learning, so their company are paying very good salary because people are very less. That is the things called demand on supply. If company is going to pay 10 lakhs, their people are very less, they're going to start the career into RPA and in 10 lakhs. Okay, so every people right now, 7 to 8 years people, they are charging 24 lakhs, 25 lakhs, 30 lakhs. Okay, so that's why this thing's called age of technology only 4 to 5 years, and people are very less. So that's why company are paying very good salary. After 10 years, after 15 years, that will be same like Java. Okay, so right now it's very good time to start the career as a RPA. The last point I will say right now, the salary package is very good. Salary package like that, if you go for n number of company across India and across world, salary is very good. Okay, that is called lucrative salary. Okay, so very good package, I can say. You can go for these things called very good salary. Okay, so across India, that is the things I'll try to show you. These things called. So salary for fresher in RPA, you can see right now, the average UiPath developer salary in India is 11 lakhs package per annum for employees with experience to 6 years. And starting salary, it's by Google. So Google take the data from different websites. UiPath range between 6.5 lakhs to 17 lakhs package per annum. Okay. So that is the initial salary, but 7 lakhs, that is the minimum salary. If you are a 2022 pass out, June 2022, even you can get also 6.5 lakh salary, and that is up to 17 lakhs package. Salary estimate are based on 26 salary received from various employee of UiPath. Okay, so it's Google, it's not by me, it's Google. Means you can get up to 11 lakhs. That is totally depend company to company, whatever the company is going to apply. If you go for a small company, they will pay you 6 lakhs, 6.5. But if you are going for these things called top 10 IT company like that, EY, KPMG, Deloitte, PwC, Capgemini, Accenture, LTI, there, Infosys, TCS, Tech Mahindra, HCL. That is the top 10 company in India and top 10 company across world. Definitely, they will provide the good salary. But if you're going for very small company like that, 50 employee, they will not provide you good salary. Okay, so always try to go for good good company, good multinational company, or any startup company who have around 3,000 employee like your Zomato, like your PayPal. Okay, so JP Morgan's bank. Okay, so Bank of America, RBS. Okay, so there also you can start the career, but try to take at least as a fresher 6.5 up to 8 lakhs package, and every company they can provide. That is the Google data. Maybe the company are paying 15 lakhs package per annum in market. Okay, it's possible. That is the salary for that. Okay, I can go for these things called RPA UiPath consultant salary in India. Okay, so UiPath average salary RPA. One second. That is we are getting right now. That is the RPA UiPath consultant, senior RP consultant, senior RP consultant. One second. Senior. Okay, so right now we are discussing about this things called senior RP developer. If you are going to start the career into RP world, the first step is the RP developer. That salary is around 7 lakhs. But if you are a senior person like that, we are discussing the 14 pass out, 15 pass out, 16 pass out, whatever the people who have 5 years experience up to 7 to 8 years. We are not discussing here the to 10 years, 15 years. Only very simple like 5 to 8 years experience. The average salary, average UiPath senior RP developer, what the things right now we're getting. If you're a senior RP developer, more than 5 years experience, the package right now, that is the things called 23.44. That is the average salary. And if you are going to ask these things, senior RP developer salary at UiPath range between 15 lakhs to 33. That is around round figure. That is the 34 lakhs package per annum. They're going to estimate 146% more than average senior RP developer salary in IT service consulting company. Okay. The things right now, we are getting the package up to 34 lakhs in India market. That is not like that USA, UK, and all these things. I am showing these things called as per consulting company up to 34 lakhs. Okay. So guys, right now the average salary is 24 and your highest salary, that is the 34 lakhs. Okay. But for 34 lakh salary, definitely your experience should be good. Your latest salary should be good. Like that, if you're getting these things called latest salary is the 20 lakhs, definitely, or 18 lakhs package per annum, they can provide up to 34 years. But for 34 lakh salary, definitely you have to work hard. You should have very good knowledge about the RPA path. There are n number of things you have to focus, like the RPA path, like your SQL server, like your agile methodology, like your basic knowledge of web-based application, basic knowledge of .NET. So n number of things required for going for these things called 34 lakh salary in across world. Sorry, across India. So that is the salary you can, guys, you can check here. Okay. So right now, suppose you're getting these things called 34 lakhs, you got the package of 34 lakhs. Okay. If you go for tomorrow, in number of company, they can pay you 40 lakhs, 45 lakhs, 50 lakhs. Okay. So right now, the things right now here, if you are getting these things called 10 lakhs, definitely you can start the career into a senior RP consultant. And definitely tomorrow, if you're going for any interview, they can provide up to 16 to 18 lakhs. That is totally depend on current salary. All salary estimates totally depend on current salary. If your current salary is 6 lakhs, no one can provide you 34 lakhs. It's totally depend on current salary. Okay. So that is the reason we are discussing here very good salary. So I can say that is the things called 24 lakhs. That is the average salary according to Google, not by me. Average salary is 24. Okay. and max salary, like that highest salary or max salary, that is things called 34 lakhs as per Google. Okay, so that is the guys we are getting here the salary part. Okay, so that is the reason why I start the career, and I will suggest everyone to start the career as RPA, RPA and AI. That is the things top 5, these things top 6 we have discussed for this part. That is the reason. Okay, the things right now we are going to start. Okay, so if you go for these things called RPA, it's fine. Right now we are going to start these things called RPA. Again, in RPA, there are n number of tools available in market. What is the tools? We'll understand right now. So if you ask me, I will tell you the history also. Previous, the things right now, the previous, like that is things called blueprint. Okay, so they've started the blueprint into RPA world, the previous. After that, that was things called double A. And after that, the tool came in market, that is UiPath. And right now, the again one tool came in market that is called Power Automate. Okay, so history wise, I will tell you that is the Power Automate, that is the things called 2022, 2020, and UiPath came in 2017 last. Okay, so the company is 2004, but right now, popularity wise, if you check on Google, they've started in 2017, and that is the things called popularity wise, I can say up to November. You can say right now 2018 they started. Okay, all these things. Okay, 2018 and double A that was the previous. So that is the popularity of these things called RP tools. But right now, if you ask me these things, what is the popularity of this RP tool as per market like that your share like that market adoption? I can say if you ask me which is the best tool to start the career right now, so I will say right now everything we'll discuss on through Google Trends. Okay, UiPath is the best tool. We'll discuss why that is the UiPath is the best tool. And after, if you ask me these things, why we are going to start this thing, what is the next tool? I will say that is the things called Power Automate. Okay, so Power Automate is totally new tool, and that is the Microsoft tool. That previous name was called Softomotive, and right now they're getting the popularity from last only 1 year. Okay, so there is no anything called stability. So that is the things right now it's showing these things called that is the top right now on Google Trend. And after that, if you ask me these things called highest openings in market, I can say double A, and after that we have a things called Blueprint. Okay, so on the top UiPath, after that we have a double A, Blueprint, and Power Automate. Right now it's showing on the graph on the top, but that is the stability issue. That is totally new tool by Microsoft. Okay, so by name only it's on the top, but I don't know what is the future. Okay, so that is the top for RP tool, and apart from that we have more than 50 to 100 tools. There are lots of companies they work for different tools like the Pega, OpenSpan, Nice, Windrunner. There are n number of tools available in market across world. There are lots of clients they're using these things called different tool, but as per across world, that is the best tool in the market. Okay, so if you go for Google, let me go for Google and let me show these things. Okay, if you're going for these things called Google Trends, so if you're going for these things called Google Trends, and let me check these things called RPA tools, and let me go for these things. If you're going to search these things called UiPath, that is the product this company, and UiPath also have the RP developer. So if you're going to check these things like that across India and top 5 fast 5 years graph, you can check right now that is the on the top, and here they started in 17 and 18. And let me go for compare these things. That is our double A Automation Anywhere. Okay, so that is the things called we are going for this things called Automation Anywhere, and here we are getting the graph right now. Okay, so that rate point is your Automation Anywhere. That is the things we are getting here, and right now we are going to compare with Blueprint. That is the top tool, and they've started the things called RPA world Blueprint. Let me go for this things called Blueprint. You can see right now. Okay, after that we are going to add the comparison due to new tool that it's showing on the top, but in future UiPath will be main tool. Okay, Power Automate. Okay, so you can see the graph right now. That is green part is your Power Automate, that is 36, and UiPath on the top we are getting here. Okay, so that is the graph, guys. And after that there are n number of tools, but if you ask these things on majority, if you check these things, UiPath on top, you can see right now that is the graph of these particular things. And 2004 present right now, if you're going to check right now, you can check the graph. Okay, so RPA tools, all this market, they've started after 17. You can see right now, January 17, no what you can see the graph. So from 18, I will like get lots of people awareness 1 to 2%. And after that, you can graph, you can see right now UiPath like that in 100, 72 people, 80 people, 95 people they're using in 2020, especially in RPA world. And that is the graph right now. You can see right now only 5 years. That is the time frame of RPA world. So that is the things we are going for UiPath. Okay. Again, you can ask from my side why I'm going for these things called UiPath. Right now, that is a top 4 tool, and we are going to learn these things called UiPath. Why UiPath? Okay, the question right now, why we are going to learn these things called UiPath? That is the things called top first according to what? Like that, according to your Google trend. Okay, that is things called according to Google trend. Okay, the second part, if you ask me the things right now, if we are going to download this particular UiPath tool, that is the RPA tool. So if you're going to download, if you're going to install, if you're going to start any project, I can challenge you these things right now also. And 2017 also, 18 also, 19 also, 20 also, 21 also, and 22 also. I can challenge you that is a 20 minutes sufficient for go for installation and your project start. Okay, so 10 minutes sufficient if you are experienced person. If you are not aware, maybe it can take 2 hours also, 3 also, 3 months also. But the things right now, whatever the people from UiPath background, RPA tools background, if they know the UiPath, 10 minutes sufficient to install these things called project and all these things. Okay. Apart from that, if you are going to take the support from across world, there are n number of these things called UiPath forum. Okay, so UiPath have more like lots of things like they have a UiPath forum. So help wise, it's top in all the tools. Help means they have a UiPath forum. You'll get the lots of information from UiPath group also. Okay, so there are n number of developers. Okay, so if you're going to count the developers, if you're going to count the technical people from across world, so you will get the more people from UiPath. Okay, people very less in these things called Power Automate because that is totally new. Blueprint is totally new. Blueprint very less people, but automation also you'll get the more people. But automation anywhere and UiPath you'll get the more majority of people. They are working for UiPath and you'll get the lots of help from UiPath. Okay, and here in UiPath that is totally low code platform. Already we've discussed, and here that is everything on drag and drop. Okay, we are going for these things called drag and drop. Okay, so that is the totally drag and drop tool, and here coding is not required. Okay, so everything they provided. And apart from that, if you ask me, this thing's called one thing that is called stability. For last 5 years, 6 years, UiPath last 5 years, stability also that is the top first. Because if you go for automation anywhere, previous 5 years back, if you're going to install these things for automation, it takes more than 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 years also, 5 hours also. Because for automation anywhere, for your blueprint, first you have to install these things called SQL Server. Okay, so without SQL Server, it's not possible to install the blueprint, and it's not possible to automate the install the automation right now. Okay, so automation right now, that is the cloud based. Okay, so stability wise, UiPath is the best under all these things called top 4 tools also, because they have particular UiPath as a coding platform that is called UiPath Studio, and they have a particular these things called orchestrator. They have a particular orchestrator that is called unattended bot, that is things called unattended bot. So stability wise, UiPath is the best in market across world. Okay, so that is things called we are going for UiPath. Okay, that is the reason we are going to learn these things called UiPath. That is the best tool in the market across world. Let me go for these things called UiPath. So for launching installation, I've already created the video for how to install these things called UiPath on YouTube. You can check here. Let me go for launch my UiPath. Okay, before going to launch these things called UiPath, we have to understand only one things. The UiPath, the first things, if you go for Python, Python is totally free. Python is totally open source code, open source technology. But if you go for RPA, RPA is not free. For Blueprint, Automation Anywhere, all these things like the UiPath, it's not free. It's totally commercial, and RPA is totally paid. Paid means that is totally paid. But you ask me how I can install these things, call your software and all these things. So in RP world, there are two types of software, especially UiPath we are discussing. The first one is called community version, and second one is called your enterprise edition. Okay, enterprise edition. Okay, so again, these things right now, what is the difference between that? So here, RPA community version is totally free. Just like that, you use these things called window license. The window that is, you use these things called pirated. For last 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, people are using these things called free. But but window is not free. That is, you are using these things called pirated version. But if you're going to purchase the license, you have to pay 4 to 5,000 rupees for that particular. The same thing, community version, it's free for particular developers who are going to learn these things. For your small company, from a small company, for POC, that is called proof of concept. When you start the career, you can go for community version. But if you are going for enterprise edition, means that is totally paid, and for 1 year of cost minimum, you have to pay for all these bots, your assistant, all these things. That is a 7 to 8K dollars. All these things written on website UiPath, I will show you. So that is the cost of enterprise edition. We are going to learn these things called. So if you're going to work in any company, if you're going for any client, so client will pay you $7 to $8,000. You don't have to pay for that. So client will pay $8,000. Everything they will provide these things for license. You have to provide the license, and you can start the development on your interpretation. Okay. Right now, let me go for these things called UiPath. I will tell you these things called UiPath. So if you go for these things called UiPath, the left side, we are getting these things called Studio 2024.4 and community license per user installation. Okay, so it's clearly written these things called community license edition we are getting here. Okay, but if you're going to work in any company, there you will get this things called enterprise edition, and that will also I'll try to show you, and that is totally paid. Okay, come to this things called UiPath. Okay, so in UiPath also we'll try to understand what is UiPath tools and what is the component of UiPath. Okay, if you go for this things called UiPath tool, we are going to discuss. So in UiPath tool, if you ask me this thing called what is the UiPath tool component? Okay, so we are going to discuss the first component, and 90%, I can say 80%, that is the more things, that is the things called UiPath Studio. Okay, so that is the things we are going to learn here. That is the things called UiPath Studio. Okay, so UiPath Studio, what is the work of UiPath Studio? So UiPath Studio, that is the main tool. If you're going to develop any project, you're going for this things called UiPath Studio. Okay, so right now we have already opened this things called, on the top you can see right now the center, that is things called UiPath Studio, and that is the community version we are going to use. Okay, that is the UiPath Studio community we are going to use. Okay, so that is the first tool. What is the work for that? That is totally for development. Try, catch, expanding. We're going to develop any project like the web-based, desktop, PDF, database, multiple things you can go for automation. That is things called UiPath Studio. Okay. So whenever you have done the development, and that is things called the UiPath Studio for development. But if you're going to automate the process from across world, then you will go for these things called orchestrator. I will come to this part also. That is the dashboard. If you go for these things called home, so I'll try to show these things. Okay. So here, if you go for dashboard, right now you're getting here 53 process I have deployed to the my particular bot. A 60 asset I have deployed like that. I've already used these things called 60 asset. 67 queue already I've used, and trigger 15 years. Okay. So this is the particular dashboard of orchestrator. We are getting these things called UiPath orchestrator. Okay. So I'll come to this part. Let me go for right here. So we have a tool called, the first tool is called UiPath tool, that is Studio, and the second tool that is called UiPath Assistant. So UiPath Assistant here, let me go for UiPath Assistant also. Okay, so we are getting here, that is the things called. Okay. So we are getting here, that is the things called UiPath Assistant, and that previous name up to 2020, that name was UiPath Robot. That was the main name. Right now, also sometimes people say right now that is the things called UiPath Robot. Okay. And third tool, that is the main tool, and that is called UiPath Orchestrator. Okay, so we have a three components. Okay, before going to use these things for these particular components, I'll try to go for these things called I'll try to tell you one thing also. If you're going for these things called RP technology, so there are two types of bot. Okay, so two types of RPA bot. We'll try to listen these things called. Okay. So RPA, there are two types of bot. I am discussing about this things called attended bot, and the second things that is called unattended bot. Okay, we have two types of tool, and if you ask me these things, both are paid. Both are paid. That is not any bot is not free. Attended bot and unattended bot. Try to understand these things. Okay. Here, let me go for UiPath. Let me go for start any project. Then you are able to understand. Here, right now, that is the dashboard. Right now, that is the home page of UiPath we are getting here. And n number of project you can see right now we have already created. But if you are new, if you install the UiPath today, so what will get the option right now? That is the process. And if you're going to start the project, you can go for process. And there you can create these things. Today is 6th of August. We are going for this things called 6th of August. And let me go for create the new project. So location, by default, it will take your Naveen PC, documents, and UiPath. Okay, so inside your documents, it will create the particular UiPath folder there, and it will try to go for description. That is not mandatory. If you're going for pass these things called testing, you can pass in things. And language right now it will take for BB. So right now I'm working on these things called 2024 4.4 version. If you go for different version, lots of language will not come. But here, whatever the by default you are getting here, you try to go for create. Okay, hardly it will take 30 seconds to start these things. We are getting the process and restoring the dependency. We have to understand this particular technology. Okay, so technical word, creating the workspace, technical word, adding the dependency, that is also technical word. All these things we will understand right now. Okay, so here we are able to start the UiPath Studio. Okay, so here we are going to start any project we are getting right now. That is things called the first things you have to understand here. On the top, you can see right now we are getting these things called 6th August. That is your project, particular project name. And we are getting the option called UiPath Studio Community. And we are getting here that is things called open main workflow. And here we are getting the project. Okay, so that is things, main things you have to understand. And RPA is totally called drag and drop. Right now you're able to understand why it's called drag and drop. Okay, so that is the first program, that is called main.xn file, and you have to click here. When you click on double click, automatically one workflow designer panel will open. Means here you can start your development. Here you can start your development. Okay, so development right now, if you go for Python, you write the particular code. You don't know the code also, you write the particular code. You go for Java system.out.println, and you pass these things called main method. You write these things called driver.get. You write all this particular code. You don't know, you check on Google, you get from there. But in UiPath, everything predefined. Predefined means everything's that is the main part, activity. So if you go for Java, you pass these things called system.out.println. If you go for Python, you write these things called println. So print all these things in double quote you pass here. But in UiPath, everything is predefined. The code is written inside these things called activity, and only you have to learn these things called activity, and you're able to start the things. Okay. And in UiPath, you have to follow the particular English language. The clear it's mentioned, text must be coded. I want to pass these things called UiPath. We are going for these things called UiPath. Save and run this program. We'll go for run this program. So the things right now, if you are working in a banking system like that HDFC Bank, okay, and HDFC bankers, they want to automate their process in that particular bank. Okay, so what they want to start the bot after 10 o'clock. So every 1 hour like that gap, 10 a.m., 11 a.m., 12 a.m., 12 p.m., 1 p.m., 3 p.m., 4 p.m., 5 p.m. And up to closing of bank up to 6 p.m., they want to run the bot. So whatever the till date transaction, like the deposit, like that withdrawal, and total amount came in bank from RBI. So all this particular transaction, they want to automate from these things called UiPath. Okay. So in that case, they will write these things called development. We are getting these things called UiPath. It's working fine. So every time whenever you're going to run this particular program, you have to click on this things called run file, and you will get the particular output that is things called your UiPath we are getting there. Okay. So same things, they are going to write that particular code. They're going to complete that your these things called development here in UiPath, and they're going to run this particular program using this things called run file. Okay, that is called attended bot. Attended bot means right now. Let me go for this things called attended bot. Okay, means from bankers they are available from morning 9 o'clock till 6 p.m. So they are going to attend the particular system. They are going to attend the particular system that is called front end bot. It's clearly meaning front end bot means you're going to sit with system and you're going to run. Okay. Front end, that is called front end bot. Okay. That is the cost is around 7 to 8K dollars. Okay. That is the cost of per year for license cost for one machine. That is the things called 7 to 8,000 dollars if they're going to use a particular HDFC bank. Okay. The things right now it's working fine. Attend bot. After 2 years, what HDFC Bank want? HDFC Bank want to automate the process 24/7. After 7 p.m. also, 8 p.m. also, 9 p.m. also, because every online transaction, if you check right now, there are lots of people from across the world. Sometimes like that they go for deposit, withdrawal from ATM, they send money through IMPS, your NEFT, RTGS. So all this transaction going on across India and across world for HDFC Bank. What they want to automate 24/7 without keeping any human beings. Means if you are available in bank for morning 9 o'clock to 6 p.m., you are able to run this things called automate. Okay. Suppose that we are working in Capgemini and we know how to automate the bot, how to write the code in bot. We are going to write this particular code in UiPath. But tomorrow, if I'm going to deploy my bot to the client location, and that is my HDFC Bank, and whatever the particular manager or like the cashier or any clerk, what I will suggest them, only try to run this particular program from run file, and every 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, wherever you want, you can go for run the file, and whatever the transaction, like the total deposit, total withdrawal, and whatever the transaction done till 6 p.m. will get from this particular run file, and automatically your Excel automation, your Excel PDF, all these things, whatever you have done for that particular manual process, everything will get. Okay. So we have given the training to the particular HDFC bankers to manager or their team. You have to go for run this file. Whenever you want the result, you can go for that. Okay. That is called attend bot. You have to attend your system. But the things right now, it's done more than 2 years, 3 years. HDFC want to go for this things called unattend bot. Unattend bot means you don't have to touch your system. You have to, what is your requirement? The RPA developers from Capgemini company, they have written the code and they have kept your system inside your server room of HDFC Bank. So there you can provide these things called power. You can see right now power, internet, all these things, and that you have to keep inside these things called server. That is called backend bot. Okay, so in backend bot you don't have to worry for these things, like you don't have to attend your system. Everything that is in automatically done in backend, that is called unattended bot, and that cost is around $20K. That is the things called the company will pay, HDFC Bank will pay to the particular company called UiPath. Okay, so UiPath will charge $20K from your HDFC Bank, and we are from Capgemini, and we are a senior RP consultant, solution whatever. So we are developing team. HDFC Bank is my client. Okay, and UiPath is the particular product they are going to charge the $20,000. So based on requirement, they charge these things. Okay, that is called attended bot, and that is called unattended bot. Okay, so right now again you ask me, we are from Nepal, we are from Pakistan, we are from USA, UK. The things right now, that is the totally things we are going to write this code in particular UiPath. We are going to publish from here, and that particular project, it will go to the orchestrator. This part again you ask me, I want to automate the process every 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, whatever you want, like that every 1 minute. So based on your location from across world, you can go for trigger. You can select your particular trigger, and you can go for run this program also. I will tell you. Okay. So there you can go for add new trigger, and you can select the particular project, whatever the process you've already assigned here. I have not done right now because that is I'm not connected. And here you can go for process now. You can go for job head, that is the highest. Okay, you can go for highest or medium, you can go for that. And that is the unattended bot. I already told you. You want to automate like minute, hourly, daily, weekend, monthly, whatever you want to go for that. And time zone, you provide like that you are from different country, like that we are from India, so we are getting these things for UT plus 5:30, and that is the India time. We are going for Chennai, Kolkata, Mumbai, and New Delhi, and you can go for these things. Okay, so in orchestrator there are n number of things is there, like that I already told you. That is things called, we are getting the particular dashboard, like that like the how many process, that is the 53 process, 60, and all this. So that is the things called attended bot and your unattended bot. Okay, so right now you ask me this things called studio, that is for development, and orchestrator, that is a totally unattended bot for deployment the process, for storing the credential, for storing the Excel sheet, that is totally one GitHub type things. That is the web-based server, I can say web-based server. There you can run this bot. Okay, the second part, if you ask me these things, what is UiPath Assistant? What is UiPath Robot? Okay. That is the main robot, guys. If you come to my particular robot, there are n number of bots already I've deployed. And if you're going to run this particular any bot, if you go for only simple click, that is same like that your house, that is switch. You are going to on the switch for light and fan. Hello everyone, we are learning this things called UiPath, and we are getting here, that is the UiPath Assistant, and it's working perfect on my particular system, and we are going for launching this particular website, and we are going for doing this thing. So whatever the particular code you are going to write, according to that, we can go for do the particular process automation. So assistant is the mediator between UiPath Studio, this part, and that is the mediator between UiPath Orchestrator. Using these things called Studio, we connect this particular both products from their end. You can go for preference, there is a preference, and there you can check here. Okay. So that is things called assistant, and we are going for this particular, that is the things called connected and license our or orchestrator URL, machine ID, everything connected, and right now it's working. So maybe if you are going for learning these things called RPA path tomorrow, if they're going to use these things called 2 years in HDFC Bank as a attended bot, maybe unattended bot is not required because they work from morning 9 to 6, and they employee, they can do these things. Okay, so maybe if you're going for tomorrow for any company, maybe that company will not want unattended bot. Maybe if they want attended bot, so their orchestrator is not required, like that all these things not required. So we provide these things for training. So here learning is mandatory, but maybe in practical not required, or if practical required, you have to work on orchestrator, you have to work on these things called asset Q1, all these things you have to learn. Okay, so that is the things, like guys, that is the UiPath tool. Let me come this thing called UiPath right now, and 80%, even 85 to 90%, you have to work on UiPath Studio, and orchestrator is the last things. Whenever your development is done, the in 10% case, if you're going to work on orchestrator, so there you will try to go for work on orchestrator. But main thing as per developer, that is things called UiPath Studio. Okay, so right now we are going for this things called UiPath, that is the Excel, mail, system, activity, UI automation, and we are getting here, that is the main .xml file. You ask me these things called what is .xml file. Okay, if you go for Excel, that is the extension .xlx. For PDF, that is the PDF. Okay, so Excel CSV file. For Notepad, that is a TXT file. You know that all these things, but whatever the new people, they are from non-technical background, like the 10th pass, or any person, they will ask you what is .xlx, what is .txt. Okay, so there you will try to go for define this thing. The same thing in UiPath, it's called .xml file. For automation UL, that extension is .atmx. We are getting here. Okay, so right now by default we are getting here, that is things called message box, and that is we are getting here, that is the UiPath. Okay, so you can write anything like that. Here I want to take the second message box. Here I will go, and here simple, if you double click also, automatically we can get here, and we can pass here. Hello everyone, we are learning RPA UiPath. Okay, so here we can pass here. Again we are getting these things called error. What we are getting here, that is error. Let me go for save, and let me go for run this program. Okay, so right now we have put it the two activity, and everything it will return. First it will display UiPath, and second it will display the hello everyone, we are learning these things called UiPath. Okay, So that is the way you can run this program, and we are getting the response also. So if you ask me what is the response of bot, in how much time we have automated the process, if you go here, that is we are getting 7 seconds. If you ask me this thing's called 7 seconds also, I will tell you it's possible to do in 1 second also. That is the response time. Okay, that is the response time we can get here. Let me go for that. Okay, so guys, we'll try to learn here. So right now, that is the particular message box we are getting here. Two message box we have taken here, and that is the things called your first program we've learned here. That is the first message box, and that is the second message box. Okay. So here we are getting this particular project, that is the 6th August, and here we are getting the by default as a main.xml file. If you want to create the new program, you can go for new, and here I can go for this things called sequence. Okay, so by default, if you ask me this things called what is sequence, flowchart, and state machine, only one line I will define you. Sequence is for a small project, flowchart especially for a small as well as large project, and state machine, that is for conditional and your any type of logical things. Okay, so if you are going for only one small program, that is the linear program, line by line, we can go for sequence, and there I can go for the very simple program, that is things called Notepad automation. Okay, so whenever you go for these things called Notepad automation, the second we are getting here, that is the things called Notepad automation. Okay, so if you are going to create the multiple program like your sequence and all these things, flowchart, if you're going to use, okay, so right now I'm going past this things called test. I can create here, and we will get the right now test. We are getting here, that is a test. Okay, and we have get here the test. We are getting the flowchart. Okay, and right now I want to delete this particular program. I don't want to keep this particular program. We have a delete also. We can right click and go for this things called delete. Okay, we can delete, right? Why I'm going for delete? I will tell you. In UiPath, after 2020, 2019 last, they have given these things called folder structure. Folder structure means if I create the n number program on 6th of August, if you go for tomorrow, that is tomorrow is 7th August, 8th August, 9th August, maybe after 6 months, you will confuse on which day, which type of program I have already created. Okay, so the things right now, that's why they've given the particular folder structure. We can create here in 6th August, we can go for add, and there will be a particular folder structure. In particular folder structure, we'll try to keep the particular program. That is the thing called add a new folder. We are going for this things called add new folder. I can go for this things called, that is the things called 6th August basic program. Okay, so we are getting, if you want to go for date also, we can pass that to the things called 2022 basic program. Okay, we're going for that. That is the particular one folder. That is the things called sequence. Right now, you want to go for this things called add. We can go for sequence, flowchart, whatever. So Notepad, I want to keep there. I can go for this things called delete, and there I'll try to go for keep. One second. Okay. So right now I have a drag and drop like that. I have kept this particular program in the 6th August basic program. Okay, if you want to go for delete, or either you can drag that particular program into the 6th August basic program, and we are getting these things called Notepad automation, and that is the very simple we are getting. That is the logo of sequence we are getting here. That is we are getting the logo. Okay, so sequence is the particular we can take from here, and we are getting the sequence. We are going to automate the Notepad. We are going to automate one particular Notepad. Try to understand these things. If you're going to automate any process like the desktop, web-based, Excel, database, first, that is the things called requirement gathering. We'll understand the process. What is the feasibility and complexity of that process? How we are going for manual process. First, try to understand the manual process. The manual process right now is we have to open the particular Notepad. We have to go for this things called open the particular Notepad. We have to launch the particular Notepad. After that, we have to write here hi and hello. Whatever you want to go for that, we are going for launch. Okay. After that, what you want? You go for this things called save. Then you have to click on this file, and there we're going for save as. Okay. But if you go for this things called shortcut, Control S, and here I can go for particular desktop, and you can go for save. We can go for like this way also. Okay. So that is things called, we can go for click and we have to go for save. Okay, so only these things you have to do using these things to RPA UiPath. So first we have to launch this particular node. Okay, so for launching this particular notepad, we have an activity, and that is called open application. Open application is the particular activity to launch this type of notepad. Okay, definitely indicate a window on screen. We are going to spy. Spy means we are going to attach my particular screen. That is the notepad. We are going for that. Okay, so we're not going to attach the particular whole screen. Only we are going for this particular notepad. Okay, it's done. It's already attached. Okay, UiPath is so advanced. If you go for blueprint, if you go for automation level, maybe the path you have to provide, but UiPath is totally advanced. It's already taken your full path of this particular notepad. Not even notepad, if you go for any desktop tool, automatically it will take your path. Means if you go for Java also, for automating the process, you have to provide the particular path where you've kept the data, but UiPath is totally advanced. It's already taken. After that, what is the next work? What is my next work? My next work is to write something here in UiPath. What we'll do? We try to go for this particular things called, that is things called type into. The name is totally meaningful. We are going to type into in some process. That's why again you are going to spy the particular this box. So always try to keep the blank, because maybe that will not work. Again, we try to go for click, and we'll try to go for indicate on screen. We are going for minimize screen. We are going for text must be coded. Here I can pass here. UiPath is the best tool. Today we are learning UiPath. Okay, so that type things we are going to write here. We are going to learn. Okay, so right now we are not getting that, is you have to go for save particular. Okay, what is my next work? We have written here. If you run this program till now, you'll try to launch this particular notepad, and it's going to write the data inside your notepad. Right now it's working. We are going for today. What is my next task? My next task is to work on this thing called send hotkey. What is a send hotkey? Send hotkey is the particular activity. We are going for this things called control. We are going for this things called save. Always try to go for small s, and that's going to help you for save. If you go for this things called save, what will happen? Control is try to check here. We are getting the desktop, and here we have to type something. So what we'll do right now? We try to go for this things called type into. That is the particular activity for that. And here we'll try to indicate on particular place. That is my place. We'll try to go for that, and we'll try to save that particular things. We are going for type into, and there we'll try to go for particular name. That is the 6th August. Notepad automation. Okay, we are getting here. That is things called 6th August Notepad automation. After that, what is my next work? My next work is to click on this save. Very simple. We'll try to take this things called click activity. We'll go for click activity, and let me go for click, and we'll try to go for indicate on a screen on this particular save. We are getting this things called save. Okay, let me go for run this program till now, and let me go for run file. So if my notepad is open, what it will do, it will try to launch the new from root. It will try to launch the new notepad, and there you try to go for UiPath is the best RP tool. Today we are learning this things for UiPath. It's going for 6th August notepad, and it's done. So that type of small process you have to automate, and you have to learn right now. Okay. That is my particular notepad version. It's very simple. So one step for the launch, second step for typing, third step for control list, and fourth step for name of particular notepad, and sixth for the save. So whatever the manual process you are going to do, the same process you have to write the particular code from UiPath. And here I don't have used any type of technical code, .NET code, nothing here without any code, everything we are doing. Okay. Very simple. Everyone asks these things called how we can go for web automation. It's very simple things we can go for right now. That is things called web automation. We are going for add, and we are going for these things called sequence flowchart right now. Understand these things called flowchart, and here we are going for these things called web automation. So here we'll go for this things called web automation. What we'll do, we have to launch my browser. What is we are going for that? We are going to open my browser. What will right now? We try to go for open browser. Very meaningful name, that is called open browser. What is that? Open browser. We have to drag and drop this particular activity, and always you have to connect like that. Okay. So you'll get this particular button, and you can keep here. Whenever you keep any activity, we are getting the two error. That is things called child error we are getting here, and that is the parent error. Parent error means if you get the multiple activity, multiple child will be your will get the error. But here that is the one error. It's showing in your program there is a one error, two error, whatever. But it's showing that it's showing on the top there is a some error. What is my next one? Always whenever you take any activity, always try to check this thing called double click to view. What is double click to view? Insert URL here. I want to launch simple Google. We'll try to instance from Google. What we'll do? Insert URL here. Text must be coded. It's clearly mentioned double quote, and you can go for this things called https://www.google.co.in. Okay, so we are going to launch this things particular Google we are going to launch. So if you go for Java, you have to write the particular codes if you're going to launch on Google Chrome or like that your Internet Explorer or right now Edge. But in UiPath, it's very simple. That is, you have to choose, you have to on which browser you're going to launch. So your middle part is called workflow designer panel, and right side is called properties panel. And properties is just like the setting of your activity. Right side, if you check here, browser type, it's asking which browser you're going to work. Which browser we are going to work. I'm going for this things called Chrome. So we'll select this particular Chrome, and let me go for save, and let me go for run this particular file. We are going to run this particular program, and here it's going to launch these things called Google. What is the problem right now? We are not able to maximize. Okay, so but that particular code we'll try it again. So right now we're getting these things called, we are facing the challenge that it's not maximized. So what we'll try now? We try to go for maximize. So here we'll go, and here we'll try to add this things called particular, that is called maximize window. Okay, it will try to go for maximize. Okay, so it will try to go for maximize like that. And here I want to search this things called Narendra Modi. Okay, so I can go for this things called type into. Already we have done these things in your particular notepad. You'll try to indicate on this things called your Google. One second. We'll go for this particular things Google, and let me go for this things called UiPath. We'll go for indicate on the screen, and here getting the particular screen. We note the install the extension for. It's already installed, but it's not. So let me go for that. I will tell you. We'll try to write here. That is things called Narendra Modi. That is our Prime Minister. And let me go for click. And after that, we'll try to search. When you write something, you try to go for search the particular names. We'll try to go for search. And here we'll try to click on this things called Google search. Okay, let me go for run. We'll try to run this program, and we'll try to go for. So if in open browser, already we have selected this particular browser type, and that is the Chrome. You can see right now the list of particular browsers. It's available: IE, Firefox, Chrome, and Edge. We are going for this things called Chrome. Let me go for save and let me go for run. Okay. So UiPath always try to launch the new particular window. So it will try to launch this particular new window. It's not a issue. You can try to go for these things to anybody and go for one. So that is the things, guys, you have to understand. It's very, very simple. It's very, very simple UiPath technology. And here you have to learn only the things right now. What is activity and how we can use that type of particular activity. Okay. One simple program. Right now we have done this things called web automation. We have done the Notepad automation. And right now only we'll try to understand this particular website. That is the things called BP Travel. It's very simple. So here also we'll try to launch this particular website. We'll try to go for maximize. We'll try to provide these things called ID password. We'll try to go for login. And after that, we'll try to click on create code. Okay, let me go for that. So here again, we'll try to go for project. We'll try to go for this particular things called add. And there I can go for flowchart. And here I can go for this things called BP travel program. Okay. Web program. Okay, we can go for that. And here everything we are writing in this particular one project. And let me go for save this particular notepad also, because we'll try to share all these things. We'll try to share to you everyone. 6th August, and here we're doing for that. Okay. 6th August. So let me go for that. Okay. So here we'll try to add the lots of things. What is activity and types of activity we are going to use. That is the things you learned here. That is the message box. Okay, so like that, we'll try to start. Let me go for this things called use the particular activity. That is the things called we are going for open browser. We are going for this things called open browser. Let me go for that. And here we are going for this particular open browser. And here we are going to copy this particular URL. That is the BP table. We are going for that. And in this particular UiPath, we are going to pass these things. We are going for this things called maximize window. We are going to drag and drop this particular maximize window. After that, we are going for this things called type into, that is for ID and that is for password. Okay, so here we are going to automate this particular things. Let me go for close this also, whatever not required. Okay, so here we are going to spy this particular ID and password. We'll try to go for that. We'll go for username. We'll go for this things called password. We are going for this things called password world. And after that, we'll try to go for this things called click activity. That is for your click there. We'll try to pass here. We'll try to indicate. We'll try to go for click. So here the things right now, here we are getting the ID password, okay, and this particular URL. Okay, so whatever the URL and ID password, if one time required, we can pass these things in double quote. But when required more than 3 times, 2 times, 10 times, then definitely you are going to store in one variable. Okay, so try to use the variable. That is the best practice you have to follow. Here in variable, what we'll do, we try to create the variable. That is things called str, or I can say v means variable, and we are going to pass this things called URL underscore str. Okay, means v means variable, URL means your URL, and str means your string. We are going to copy this particular URL, Control A, okay, Control C, and we'll try to paste here. Okay, that is same like the variable, but you can use multiple place this particular variable. So we'll delete this particular URL, and instead of using this things called double quote, we can use the particular URL. That's very simple. Only I'm saying in this particular variable, we have stored this particular URL, and here I can create the user. That is things called user, and here, sorry, I can say ID, and here I can say password. Okay, and in ID, we can store these things, that is things called admin, and in password, we can store these things called admin. Okay, so in this particular type into, we can pass this particular things called ID, and here I can pass these things called your password. It's very simple. Why I use this thing called ID password? Because if tomorrow required multiple place, multiple things, there you can use these things called variable. Variable is very simple like that. That is for storing the data. Your mind is also storing data. If I say hi, you are getting the English language, that is called hi. But if I speak in different language, Germany, maybe in China, Chinese, you are not able to understand because your mind is not adopting that particular things. The same thing, this but for particular storing data. We have done these things called logging. So after logging, let me go for manually this things called logging. We have to go for create code, that is click. We have to go for click. So there we'll try to go for this particular things called click. We are going for this particular click. We are going for click here. We'll try to indicate on screen. We'll try to go for create this code. And here after create code, this one particular aviation website, we'll go for create, and after that we'll try to go for from to departure date and one way. Okay, so you're going to flying from one country to another country, and till now after that everything's same. Okay, so we'll try to automate till now, and we'll try to go for logout, and we'll try to complete it. That is the drop down. You can see right now the list of country we are getting here: Switzerland, UK, United Kingdom, all this country name we are getting here. Okay, we are getting here. So that is particular country name we are getting here. The same thing we are going to pass in this particular things. We are going to pass the activity, and you have to learn this particular activity that is called select item. Select item is the particular activity for this things called drop down. We are going for select item again. We are going for this things called type into. We are going for this things called type into. We are going for click also. We are going for two times click, one for your one way and one for your logout, and you'll try to close tab also. Okay. So one by one, every time you have to work on this particular activity, and we are going for from, we are going for this things called to, we are going for this things called departure date. So one by one, we'll try to do the all these things. Okay, so first let me spy. Spy means we are going to attach the current screen, and after that we'll provide the value. Okay, so we are going for this thing is called here one way. Okay, and after that I want to go for click. Okay, so what I want to go for logout, and after logout I want to stay here at least 1 second, so we can pass these things called delay. If you go for Java, there we can pass these things called your thread dot slip. Okay, so for Java we can pass it. Okay, so one by one we'll pass the data, and after that I want to close the tab, so we can go for close tab. That is for that particular window, whatever we want to. So for delay, let me go for 2 seconds. We can pass the 2 seconds, and let me go for pass that. Okay, so same like the website. If you go for this things called from to, we are getting the all country name and continent name. We are going for this things called Belgium. We are going for this things called, that is the things called country, that is the Belgium, and Brussels, that is the capital of particular country. Departure date is the 16th of. Okay, and after that we have done till now. Let me check these things, it's working perfect or not. Let me go for run file. Let me. Okay, so where we are getting these things, let me check. Okay, because of we have not provided the particular URL of the particular your these things. Okay, so you are able to provide that. So we'll try to copy this particular URL, and here we'll try to paste in this particular UiPath. Let me go for save, and let me go for run this particular program. So we are going to launch this particular BP table website, that is the bptableblueprint.com, and here we're going for this things called ID password. So whatever the ID password you have provided, it will come here, but it's launched on Edge. 1 minute. Here we have not changed. Let me go for change these things. Okay, that is the URL we are getting here. Let me go for that. So guys, we have checked here right now. If you're going to run this particular program, let me run this again. So it's working perfect on the Google Chrome and Mozilla Firefox. So here we are going to launch on the Google Chrome, so that we have provided here. We are going to launch here, and we are going to provide these things called ID and password. We are going to learn and create code, and this is the drop down. We are going to pass departure date one way, and going for logout and wait up to 2 seconds. And right now we are going to close. Okay. So my closing this website, maximizing, type into your particular credentials, and going for all drop down. If you ask me these things, what is your response time? That is only 15 seconds. In 15 seconds, we have done the web automation, and we have done these things called ID password, your credential, all these things. It's working perfectly. So guys, that is the way, this is the way we can go for these things called automate the desktop and web-based application using this UiPath. It's very simple to start the career, and here we can automate the n number of things like the web-based automation, Excel, desktop, PDF, email, database, whatever the process available. It's very simple to start, and it's very simple to learn these things. You have to learn these things called activity, and you can automate, and it's very simple and easy to learn and start the career. Okay. So guys, thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you very much.